Okay, so we talked about auto layout and applying it to a component button to force the frame to react to the text inside of it, just like this chip component that I have here. You can see that as I add more text, the frame reacts to the text inside of it. So it grows and it shrinks. Here I want to show you a few other things that auto layout can be used for because it's actually handy for all kinds of things. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that this chip component is inside the parent frame. I already have a kind of a mobile display viewport set up here. And I'm going to add auto layout to this parent frame. And so now we will have auto layout nested within another frame that also has auto layout once I click this plus here. I want to show you the alignment options here, which determine how items are arranged within an auto layout frame. So right now it's defaulted to the top left, but as I click these alignment options, you'll see that our chip moves around the frame to be aligned within it as we're displaying here. If I had some more of these, so if I duplicate this a few times, you'll see they're stacking on top of each other. So those alignment options will work for everything in the frame, but the reason they're stacking vertically is because our auto layout settings are set up to vertical layout. We can also set this to horizontal layout to lay things out next to each other. So as I duplicate more chips here, you'll see they're adding horizontally. And that will work for everything that is in this auto layout frame. So everything will be aligned or laid out in the direction that you set here. So what happens if you have a layout where you want things both arranged vertically and horizontally? That is a great question, and that's where the nesting auto layout comes in handy. The other way to handle this is with wrapping. So this third option here says wrap, and if I click that, you'll see as the frame gets smaller, it's bumping those chips down to, let me zoom in a little so you can see, down to the next line. And so we can keep adding these and it's never going to expand beyond the frame. They're just going to keep being added below or wrapping below once they hit the padding of the frame. Okay, but that still doesn't quite work if we wanted to add other components in here that are all arranged vertically, which is where nesting comes in handy. So I'm going to switch this back to vertical auto layout, and then I'm going to group all of these components together and give them their own auto layout frame where they wrap together. So I have these all selected here, and I'm going to click auto layout, and what that's going to do is it's going to group all of the items I have selected into a new frame and apply auto layout to it. So you'll see that named this frame 1 and all of my chips are inside of it. So I'm just going to rename this really quick so that we keep things organized. And now I can wrap these chips and keep these in an auto layout frame that is stacked vertically. So if I wanted to add something like, say, an image above these chips, pretend this rectangle is an image, that is still going to stack vertically. And I can even rearrange these by dragging them up and down. So you can see how nesting these things gets to be really useful and really helpful to help you build your layouts in a way that doesn't have you kind of like pushing things around pixel by pixel to get things aligned and arranged the way that they need to as you're expanding and contracting your frames. The other thing that's helpful to talk about here, because a lot of this has to do with, sorry, this padding is going to bug me because it's slightly off on the left and right. Oh, because it's not centered. Let's do that. That's better. So we can set the size of our things inside the frame to react to the frame outside of them by adjusting the width here from fixed to fill container. And what happens then, as this frame grows, you'll see that shape grows with it. I don't think that will work with wrap because then it will expand forever. Actually, it does. Okay, so you'll see by combining those two things, we can really get good control over how elements react to the frame, and then we use the spacing between to control how adding more elements, let me set this to hug, is evenly spaced with the contents inside of it. So you'll see I don't like that these are all left aligned here. So if I center align them, now they look nice and even, stacked on top of each other. And as I add more elements, they all stack nicely together. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some ideas for how you might arrange your elements for your profiles and gets you thinking about how auto layout can be your friend in stacking things both vertically as well as horizontally and wrapping them together.